Hey, what's up guys? Maintain here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 broadcast. Hope you guys have been enjoying the videos so far. Don't forget to subscribe if you have, and don't forget to leave any comments below in the feedback section. I always like a little constructive criticism, so don't hesitate to leave me some there. So what I'm bringing here today is actually a tutorial video for Zerg players who are having a difficult time defending the 4-gate. So the 4-gate is something that you see too often for sure in especially the gold levels and all the way up to the diamond levels. You see a ton of 4-gates. In gold levels I would say about one of every two at least, maybe two out of every three games ZVP you end up seeing a 4-gate from the Protoss player. So I'm going to be trying to help out those Zerg players who are still struggling with a 4-gate and seeing if we can nail down a few things. I'm going to be playing as Maintain in the top right against the Protoss player Maynard Gosu, who's going to be the Protoss player spawning in the top left, and this is going to be in the Diamond League, and I figured that would be a good league to play it in because most players up in the Masters League aren't going to, and even higher into the Grandmasters League now, are really not going to be doing too many 4-gates, as they kind of do start to dissipate once you get to the Diamond League. Even in the Platinum League there's still a lot, but in the Diamond League you do kind of start to see them go away. So I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going for a fast expand here, and that's pretty much the when it's difficult to defend a 4-gate. But if you do defend it well and you have that expansion up, you have a pretty good shot at winning the game. So as you can see, the Toss player is doing a pretty standard opening here with this pylon placement. You're probably going to throw up a gateway in the Cybernex core or something along those lines. And I do have my Overlords scouting out here, one going to the left and one going to the bottom here. It's really important that you bring the Overlords over. It's almost vital to from a scouting perspective, because one of the important things about defending a 4-gate is knowing that it's coming. So I'm saving up my minerals here. I'm going to be throwing down the natural, and it's really good to try and sneak your drone by the probe here if you can. And that way you can avoid kind of like cheesy stuff like putting a pylon down, or just kind of preventing the natural from going down. So I did kind of sneak my drone there and did manage to get the hatchery to go down. Around this time, at the same time, I'm going to be sending my drone around because I still don't know exactly where my opponent is, and so I'm going to be sending a scout out around the map. I like to go about a 15 or 14 pool and then pump out a couple more drones and then get my gas. The reason behind that is because if he does go for some sort of like quick zealot rush or something like that, I still will have a chance to defend it. You don't see that too much at this level, but you know, it's always be safe. So 14 or 15 pool. And as you can see, Maynard Gosu, he's got the 1 gas. If a Protoss player has 2 gas at this point, it's a pretty sure bet that he's going for something along the lines of like a tech build, such as you know, like a air build or something like that. And you usually see the Cybernex score go down, and then they'll get their second gas around like 20 or 21 supply. And you can kind of tell by that gas timing whether or not they are going for a 4-gate. It's not, you know, for certain, but that's a good way to tell. So I do scout my opponent here with the Overlord, and I am going to bring my drone over and see if I can get it up into his base. Spawning pool is finishing, and right now I'm just pumping drones. So you just want to start by pumping drones. I do usually get out about 4 Zerglings or so, and you definitely want to get your queens out as soon as possible as well. I am going to get my drone up into his base, and I do see that there's a second gateway going down. Now his zealot is on my drone, and I can see that you can see I almost lose my drone here. And at the same time, I'm over in my base. I'm producing 2 queens, and I'm getting out a couple Zerglings as well. You want to transfer some of your drones down to the mineral lines so you can have the most income, the highest income possible. And I also do have 3 drones on my Vespene here to get the metabolic boost. You want to get the metabolic boost with your first 100 gas, and then I usually pull just 1 drone off if I think he's going for a 4-gate. Unfortunately, I do lose my drone here, so I actually do not see that that these are here, but I do see that pylon here, and I do see the gas timing. I'd say it's a pretty sure bet at this point that he probably is going to go for a 4-gate or some kind of like 3-gate robo or some sort of early rush. He hasn't gone for an expansion or isn't look like he's doing that. So I'd say at this point you can be fairly certain that he's going to go for some sort of 4-gate. I do have my Overlord here, which I'm going to try and use to scout as well. And as you can see, another extremely important part of defending a 4-gate is getting your, I guess, vomits off with your queens. If you are missing your vomits with your queens, it is going to be near impossible to defend. And I'm also getting down my Roach Warren as well, because you definitely want to have some roaches out. This map, the choke is right here. It is pretty small. On some maps like Zelnaga, the choke for this natural goes all the way around to the side here. So you just want to make sure that while you're continuing to produce drones, and I do get myself a little bit supply blocked here. That's another really important thing. You want to focus on not being supply blocked, and you also want to focus on getting your vomits off. I actually don't do a great job of that. As you can see, my queen right now, there is a vomit there, and so she has 17 energy, and this queen's actually doing a little bit better there, but they still are a little bit late. So I think I'm kind of concentrating on getting my getting my Overlord here. Unfortunately, he does have pretty good gateway placement, but I think it's almost guaranteed, you know, that he's going to be going for a 4-gate here. So another thing I'm doing here, I have a Zergling here, and I'm going to be bringing probably this Zergling out into the front of the base. As you can see, I am pumping some roaches out right now, and it's right around this time, around 36. And as you can see, I get a little supply blocked here again, which is a pretty bad thing to do. So this definitely isn't perfect 4-gate defense, but I thought it would be a good video for you guys to at least learn from. I can critique myself, and I can also point out some things that I do well also. So metabolic boost is finishing, and I do have some. So as you can see, I did bring that Zergling over. He did scout, so I do know that the 4-gate is on the way, and this is a very tense moment. I do throw down 2 spine crawlers, and I'm continuing to pump roaches here. I've got 5 roaches on the way, and I'm pumping Zerglings as well. If I didn't have the larva to produce these units, then I would be in a hugely difficult position here. I don't really like to throw down a huge spine crawler wall just because it's a huge waste of minerals, and those spine crawlers become completely useless later in the game. So I like to go roach heavy because you can. This isn't the heaviest zealot build, but I think 4-gates that have a heavier zealot build are really harder to defend than ones that don't, especially if you don't have enough roaches. So as you can see, my opponent throws up a force field here. He's trying to prevent these roaches from coming down the ramp, and they are trying to pick off my spine crawlers here. Unfortunately for him, I was able to get up some roaches, and he is kind of hammering on the spine crawler here, but he just does not have the forces that he needs. He's reinforcing this forces, and he does throw this pylon down. Another hugely important part, you don't want to engage off the creep. That's another huge part. You do not want to engage off the creep. It's a very difficult position, and you want to make sure that you micro your forces well. You do not want your Zerglings fighting the zealots and the roaches fighting the stalkers. You want your roaches fighting the stalkers and your Zerglings to come around the back, and I mean the roaches fighting the zealots, and you want your Zerglings coming around the back. So he's warping in more stalkers here. I think I've got a pretty good build again. I mean a pretty good unit composition against these stalkers. I got the 2 spine crawlers still up. I got the Zerglings, and I've got the roaches, and so I'm going to bring them out. I'm going to be using my queen as well because the queen can absorb a lot of damage, and I do get a nice surround here. As you can see, you want to make sure you bring your troops around. You don't want these Zerglings in the back running around, so I'm going to be able to kill these stalkers off. Another blunder my man was that he put his pylon right here. He needs to have his pylon somewhere in this vicinity or somewhere even down in here. He wanted to be able to warp his units up on the high ground, but as you can see, my roaches are really easily able to pop this off. If he'd have it back here, then I wouldn't have been able to do that with my roaches, so I was able to pop it off from the high ground, and that's pretty much the end of the 4-gate defense. Now, what you want to do is you're transitioning. As you can see, I'm actually, since I've been pumping so many units, so many army units, I'm actually pretty, my economy's not looking that great. I'm still ahead of him, and what I'm doing right now is I'm continuing to pump out some more drones. So I got 4 drones on the way, and I'm going to continue to pump drones for just a couple minutes. The transition is a very important part of the 4-gate, but since I'm already so far ahead, I've got a pretty good shot at this game. Looks like he's going to throw down a Robo Bay, and he's going to throw down the pylon to the bottom of the ramp. So it's a pretty basic transition. You're going to see this expansion transition after the 4-gate almost every time, and so what I'm doing here, I just pumped 4 drones, and I'm pumping 6 more right now. I'm also getting my hatch rate because I haven't got my hatch rate up yet, and I'm going to get a couple more drones on gas as well. And as you can see, I'm also thinking about moving out right now. I think once you pump enough drones to get your economy rolling again, you're going to be way ahead in economy, and also after you do that, and they're catching up on economy, it's a great time to transition into an attack. I'm bringing my roaches over a little early because they are pretty slow, and since I have been using my vomit with my queen, I do still have enough larvae after pumping all those drones to have 18 zerglings on the way. I've got my units, my hatchery and my lair rallied out into the center here. And what I'm going to do is after I get these zerglings out, I'm going to try and push out with these forces. Your opponent will never have enough time during that small window of time between when he stopped the foregate to now to defend this. Now, if he does defend this, which he may, it's going to be in his one base. There's no way he's going to be able to hold off my attack with his expansion here. So in the least, you're going to cause your opponent to stay on one base, and your economy is going to be way ahead. So I pump those drones out, and now I'm going to bring my forces in. It's important that I bring these zerglings around the back of these stalkers to try and get them trapped. If they get up this ramp, I'm probably not going to be able to defeat them right here. He's pumping on a mortar right here, but you can see since his economy was so far behind since he went for the foregate and I was able to defend it, there really is nothing he can do. If he had made it up his ramp right here, I would have at least got him to cancel the Nexus and maybe killed the Forge as well. And so, you know, that definitely would have been a good attack as well. So there you go. There's the, well, not a GG from Gosu, but he did drop nonetheless, so I did get the victory there. I think that's a pretty good example of how to defend a foregate. This map is pretty good for foregate defense since there's this narrow choke. I think they did move the ramp, if I'm not mistaken, from being right here to over here to make it a little easier to defend, because when you have one entrance here and the other entrance here, that can be very difficult to defend. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely give me any feedback, and don't hesitate to subscribe if you liked it as well. I will have more videos coming out soon. I will see you guys next time. This is Maintain signing off.